Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. We're gonna do things a little differently this time because I don't have any first-person perspective video footage for this weekend. I'll explain that later. But anyway, this is just a still image. I'm just wanting to talk over it real quick. But we are competing in the Turbo 370Z. Before, I used to compete in the 370Z when I was supercharged, but this was the first competition I was able to compete in now that it is turboed. So I was super excited, and I got all this footage to show you guys. Now, the first battle is with my teammate, friend, Cody Lucas. He has a stock 370Z. His is silver. That's really clean, and mine is the beat up one. So let's go ahead and jump right into it.
Can't crust in the 370Z that is boosted.
Alright, so now we're going to start doing some donuts. I'm warming up. So there's Cody. There is a tire rule for this drift series. You cannot have a tire wider than 245. You cannot have a tire that has a lower tread wear of 300. It can be higher, just it can't be lower. It's to keep competition fair between everybody else. Otherwise, someone can come up with a 200 turbo tire. Anyway, Cody is going to be leading. This is his first drift competition, so I'm super excited for him. He had an excellent launch. I gotta play catch up, and we're on the outer zone one. He did very well. We're coming through the kidney beam, and I don't know how to explain how I was able to, I guess, catch up right here. I just somehow did it and I didn't hit him, so that was an accident, but I was trying to be as aggressive as possible because I really don't want to lose to my teammate. But we closed out that battle. I feel like I did very well on outer zone 2. There is still many other areas that I can improve on. Now, I'm launching in second gear, and I believe that kind of caught him off guard because I did not launch as hard as he was expecting to, and I was experimenting with launching in second gear. Um, my entry into outer zone 1, it could have been better. I'll explain more later on about that. And now we're going to the kidney bean, and I have been missing that outer zone uh, before we hit the manji on the straightaway quite often, so that's something I'll need to work on as well. But then the outer zone 2 hits, I'm near the wall and where I need to be, and then I advance on to the next battle. Now, I'm leading up against Seb. I did check his tire before we started this round because I want to make sure I had a decent idea on who I'd be going up against. He had Ironmans on his Turbo Miata, so I wasn't sure what was going to happen. But unfortunately for him, he hit the wall. Thankfully, his damage is very minor. I think he only messed up his tie rod. I had no idea that he, did that, so I just continued on until I seen that he was right there. So I thought that he just had spun out or something like that. I didn't know that he hit the wall, so I was waiting on the line for like a minute or two. And once I realized that he wasn't coming back out, I decided to do a little victory lap, and that's about it. So we move on to the next battle. Alright, hang on. This is just a still image. I just want to speak about Corey real quick. So we battled a few years ago, and I had lost against him because his tires on his car, I think it was running like all seasons, but they were like aired up and smoked. So I had 200 tread wear tires on, and I could not, for the life of me, stay behind him and not run into him several times, which ended in him advancing over me because I couldn't stay within drift. So to battle against him again, I had like a little bit of pride on the lines. I'm like, dude, I can't lose to you again. Now he recently LS swapped his car, but he's been having issues with his gear ratios because his second gear is basically useless, and third gear is also useless because it's too tall. So with this knowledge, I knew that I may have had an advantage. I just wasn't really too sure. So anyway, I'm gonna get going with this battle. Thanks for listening. And we're off. Now I'm leading, and we're both launching in second gear, which I thought was kind of funny. But there's not a whole lot for me to really speak about this clip because it gets kind of repetitive, and there's not a whole lot that I can really say. But I will make a few comments on the fact that I was glancing in my mirror a few times to see where Corey was, and I don't want this to sound bad or anything, but I just didn't really understand how he was still maintaining proximity at the times that I would glance my mirror. Now, granted, some things appear to be closer than what they actually seem in the mirror, especially while you're drifting. But regardless, I knew that I had to turn up my game just a little bit more if I wanted to win this battle. Now, he had a really good launch. I'm struggling with my launching. I was also in first gear. Whenever I chase, I always launch in first gear. But outer zone 1 wasn't too terrible. Shallowed up and slowed down a little bit on the kidney beam, so I'm able to kind of regain proximity. And for whatever reason, Outer Zone 2, like the stuff leading up to Outer Zone 2, has always been my nail in the coffin. And I've always been able to really kind of suck up on anyone's door on Outer Zone 2. But regardless, we got the win, so we move on. Once again, still Image, just want to briefly talk. So this is the final battle, and if I had to be honest, I did not think I was going to make it this far. I wasn't sure how the bracket was going to be, but the bracket was honestly in my favor. So I'm not going to complain about that whatsoever. But I know Ben's been on an absolute heater, and just like any final battle, it's always going to be, you know, the two top guys trying to give their all to get that win. So enough of that. Let's just click the video and see what happens. And real quick, one of my only complaints about comp is we don't actually have like a tree or anything that we can use to launch at. We wait on the flagger, and the flagger had already did the whole "Are you ready?" thing, and so at that point I was on like 5,000 to 5,500 RPM holding because I was assuming he was going to drop the flag shortly after that, but he did not. So we ended up holding it for like 15 seconds or something like that. But anyway, we're off. I enter Outer Zone 1. I am not where the car should be at for the zone. I'm actually maybe a foot away from the zone, so I dropped the bomb on that one. But go through the kidney bean, come through here on a little touch and go, and like I said, I do a very shallow manji there to keep my speed up, and then the car tends to pull on, it pulls on a little bit on here, but not as much as everyone else. So on to the final battle. Alrighty, so now Ben is leading, I'm in chase, I'm in first gear this time. I've never driven with Ben before, so this is a totally new experience, not sure what's going to happen, but we're about to launch pretty soon. There we go. So my launch wasn't bad, it wasn't good either, it was just an okay launch. Now, I don't know what I did here, but my rear end did wash out a little bit, so I didn't have enough grip to pull it in to stay in proximity like I had hoped, because you can see I'm not in frame, I'm just gone. But then I catch up a little bit, do my little shallow manji, and for whatever reason I've been doing that all day long, and that has been allowing me to get like extra speed to close the gap if I need to. But unfortunately, that was not enough, and Ben won. So congratulations to Ben, you were on an absolute heater all day long. I know you want it bad, and you probably want it more than I did, so it's well deserved for you. But round 2 comes, your ass to grass, bud.
45. Spring roll. Woo! Let's go. We got Theon Nelson in the lead. Ben Bruno in the chase. And let's get it. 3, 2, 1, go. In the lead, Theon BK Booty Cross in the chase. In 3, 2, 1, go!
Well,